Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to film a video about surviving pregnancy in college or university. So I'm about 28 weeks pregnant in the third trimester. It's been a crazy journey, as I'm sure you know if you are pregnant as well. And I have been in college the whole time that I've been pregnant. So I am currently in my master's program and I graduate in October. So I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but it hasn't always been very easy. As you know, university can be challenging without a baby growing inside of you. So I have just had a bit of time to reflect and come up with a little bit of a list of 6 things that helped me during my journey in pregnancy. And I just wanted to share it with all of you in case you're in a similar situation and feel like you need a little help. So my first tip for all of you guys would be to be kind to yourself. I know that it kind of goes without saying that you should be kind to yourself all the time, but especially in pregnancy, I think we need a little bit of a reminder. I mean, I remember going through the beginning stages of pregnancy, and my pregnancy was unplanned and yours might have been planned, but however you got here, it has been a dramatic shift in your life, I'm sure. And I felt really sick, I felt terrible. You know, all of the hormone changes, the body changes, my mind was scattered, and to deal with university on top of everything that was going on felt really challenging, and I felt like I wasn't doing a good job of it. So I would have loved for somebody to tell me to just be kind to myself and tell me that I'm doing a good job, because I'm sure that you are. Just the fact that you are trying to juggle both of these things is a huge, obstacle, and you are doing it. And sometimes it doesn't feel like you're doing it well, but I can assure you, you are probably doing a lot better than you think you are. So just be kind to yourself and remember that what you are doing is really hard. So my second tip would be to be honest about your situation to your professors. Whether you arrived at pregnancy unexpectedly or expectedly, it doesn't seem important to let your professors know, but in my experience, especially in the beginning stages of pregnancy, it's not very obvious that you are pregnant, and your professors do want to help you. If you are trying to be a good student and you are trying to learn and you are trying your best to manage and take in everything that they are saying, they're going to want to help you succeed. So for me, I was very honest with my professors about my situation. Some parts of my pregnancy were really hard. I didn't feel up to, sometimes I was just in the toilet, like throwing up all the time. And those moments were hard. Those moments are some moments that normal students typically don't have to deal with. They were really empathetic towards me for the most part, and sometimes gave me extensions on work, or gave me a little extra help and support during that time, which really helped me feel like I wasn't battling this pregnancy student dynamic alone. So I would definitely implore you to be honest with your professors if you need that help. For me, in my experience, telling my professors my situation allowed me to be more transparent and open, and then for them to allow a helping hand if I needed it. My third tip would be to use your energy when you have it. For me, I started to realize that I had energy throughout the day more so, and at night I started to crash pretty heavily. It is better to get ahead of your schoolwork when you have those spouts of energy, and that will help you a lot later on when you feel really bad. When I had 2 or 3 days when I was like, I feel really good, I tried to make sure that I got ahead of my work so that when I did feel bad, I had a little bit of a cushion to fall back on. I wasn't going through this terrible experience and also thinking, shoot, I didn't do my schoolwork at the same time. That's like some added pressure that you don't need on yourself. when you are feeling good, which hopefully you have times that you are, every pregnancy is different, but for me it was very up and down. But when I did feel good, I made sure to get ahead of my schoolwork. My fourth tip is to take breaks. I know I just told everyone to get as much schoolwork done as you can when you feel good, but I also do implore you to take breaks when you need them. Don't feel like you have to cram everything in. You have to constantly be studying because you're a university student. You don't. University is hard, but it's more about how you study and how you do work in a smart way rather than in a as much as you can kind of way. That is the biggest lesson that I've learned in college and undergrad, and now I'm in postgrad, is it's not about how hard you work, it's about how smart you work. So really listen to your brain and your body and see what works for you, because I guarantee you that cramming a load of information in 8 hours while you're feeling terrible from pregnancy is not going to help your schoolwork, and it's not going to help you. So make sure to work smarter and not harder. My fifth tip is to get alcoholic drink substitutes. I'm not sure if you like to drink, you might not miss it at all, but for me, being in college and being in that environment, I like to have the occasional drink. I love to have a glass of wine. You know, I'm not saying that I wanted to, get wasted all the time, but I did miss having the occasional drink. So something that helped me, especially when my friends would go out and I felt like I was missing out, was to get alcoholic drink substitutes, because most of the time you just miss having a beverage to drink, not necessarily being drunk, if that makes sense. I can only speak for myself. I started making mocktails or non-alcoholic cocktails, which was really fun, and something that I really liked before I was pregnant was beer. And non-alcoholic beer tastes very, very similar, like almost exactly the same as alcoholic beer. For me, it honestly really satisfied me. Like at the end of the day, sometimes I would crave a drink, and I got some Heineken Zeros, which is non-alcoholic Heineken, and it did the trick. Just one of those, and I felt, it hit the spot. So I definitely encourage you to get those if you're in that same situation as I am. You can bring them to any gathering. You shouldn't miss out on experiences just because you're pregnant, especially college experiences. So you just got to work around your situation. My last tip, number 6, is to make sure that you're taking care of yourself mentally and physically. I know that you are trying your best to look after what is growing inside of you, and that is just comes natural to me. I want to make sure that I'm looking after the baby that's growing inside of me, but we often, I think, as pregnant women, and I'm sure mothers as well, forget to take care of your own self as an individual. And a few things that really started to deteriorate while I was pregnant was my mental health. All the hormone fluctuations, the massive changes. I started feeling really bad, and I realized I wasn't taking care of myself like I would have prior to pregnancy. So I started to get back into that routine. I started journaling. That really helps me get out of my head and my head space, and to just get those feelings on paper. It's also really handy to look back at them and see, empathize with yourself. Journaling helped me. I love meditation. I use an app on my phone called Insight Timer. It's completely free. This is not an ad. It's just awesome. If you feel like you can't meditate without an app, it's got some really beautiful guided short meditations that just help me clear my head and feel a lot more grounded. Another thing that I do is yoga. As I'm entering the 3rd trimester, it's not as intense yoga, but I do still like to move and get into those stretches. Makes me feel really at peace and calm. Definitely don't push your friends away during this time. I think it's just something that you kind of naturally do. Well, at least I naturally do. when I feel like I'm going through a hard time is I just like to remove myself because I feel like kind of a burden. I'm in a different situation to them. I'm going through something that they don't understand, and I can just quite literally isolate myself from those that care about me, and it's really not a good thing to do. And I'm glad that I'm aware of why I do, because it makes me feel more isolated, more alone, and more sad. So definitely lean on those that love you, because they do care about you. And although they're not going through the pregnancy and the changes that you are, they still want to be there for you and want to empathize with you. So definitely make sure that you talk to your friends or the people that you trust in your life. Physically, I can't say that I was very physically active during my pregnancy at all. I came from being an Olympic athlete to literally doing nothing physically. But the one thing that I did manage to do was stretch. I like to just move my body a little bit, take walks. You don't have to be active and do all these, prenatal workouts, but just moving your body every now and then helps you to clear your mind, helps your body feel good, and can be good for your overall health. So those are my 6 tips for surviving pregnancy whilst in university or college. I hope that you found them somewhat useful. Those are just some things that have helped me, and I'm sure that you guys have figured out things that work for you. I would love to know more about your journeys. If you have any other tips going forward whilst in school and in my pregnancy, drop them in the comments below, because I'm always learning. I feel like I will never know enough about pregnancy because it is just such a huge topic. Good luck with school. You can do it. I know you can. Good luck with the rest of your pregnancy, and I'm sure your beautiful babies can't wait to meet you, and I can't wait to meet mine too.